A lot of you have asked for it, and it's been a while since I've done a tiny town update, so here it is. If you don't know what a tiny town is, well, look at it. It's tiny. It's smaller than the X on a mobile ad that now all of us are dealing with. The goal is to stay within the bounds of the original starting 16 by 16 tile space and not place any expansions, getting to as high of an age as possible while doing tons of shenanigans along the way. Where I left you all last time back in September, I had just reached the modern era and planned to keep moving up in age. Now about 5 months later, as of the time that I record this footage, I'm back and still in the modern era. I've been trying to complete events as much as possible, which has really slowed down my progress on the tech tree. The Forge Bowl event recently ended, and I was able to complete the entire thing and get all the kits needed for a fully leveled pergola, but it took me nearly the entire event to reach that point. It's really difficult to complete production quests, for example, when you've only got 5 production buildings, and even harder for quests asking me to complete productions in buildings of my age, which I only have 2 of, being my sleigh builders. Regardless, now that I've gotten all the kits for a pergola, I now have to find the space to fit it, which is no easy task. You see, to place it, I'll have to delete something else. I also want to swap out some of my buildings for other ones, so I think I'm just going to do a quick reorganization of my tiny town, taking the tasteful type of a tiny time lapse. Enjoy. "20 minutes of real time later, I'm finished. It might not look like much has changed, as I haven't actually swapped out the buildings yet, but I wanted to talk about some of my decisions here. First and most obviously, I'm getting rid of the terracotta vineyard for the time being. It will still remain in my inventory, but unfortunately it's unable to provide any supplies despite the supply boost that it provides. That's why in this little 3x4 space next to my sleigh builder, I'm going to be putting my House of the Clown that I actually removed a while back for the one reason that it actually provides supplies and an attack boost as well as a smattering of other rewards. The big empty spot is for my pizzeria, which I'll be putting down shortly, but that's not all the changes I've decided to make. You might notice that there's a 2x2 area behind my sleigh builder, and I have no idea what to put there. I think I might settle for some sentinel outposts or maybe a face or gate from the expeditions. Additionally, I think it's finally time to get rid of the governor's villa and replace it with the pirate's hideout as it gives supplies. I'm a little bit sad that I'm going to be giving up the units from the villa, but I've got the knight's pavilion to make up for that anyways. With all these changes, my city's overall production totals changed slightly, bringing my goods to 226.2 per day, which is lower than my previous 244. My forge points per day are also 1 less at 78 instead of 79, and I'm also producing only 2 units per day instead of my previous 6. My supply boost is higher than last time, but that's mainly due to the castle system and me putting more levels on my Lighthouse of Alexandria. I actually lost some supply boost when I removed the vineyard. All of this begs the question though, what's even the point of this new arrangement if I'm losing goods, forge points, units, and supply boosts? Isn't that a bad thing? And the answer is nope. You see, the biggest bottleneck in my tiny town is actually getting enough supplies, which is something that each new building I've placed helps out with at least a little, while the ones I've removed didn't really do much for me. For example, the Terracotta Vineyard provided a small supply boost, but didn't actually provide any supplies. The Pizzeria, House of the Clown, and Pirate's Hideout all provide supplies, even if in the case of the Hideout, the odds are very slim to do so. But I'll take it. Also, it's kind of a stupid reason, but I just like the look of this layout better than the previous one. Additionally, I've now got more modern era goods than I'll ever need, so I think it's time to move on to the postmodern era. It's rather funny aging up in this town as nothing really changes other than the town hall. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't even upgrade my roads. Since I'm always deleting them when I rearrange my city, there's no reason to waste the supplies to build them. I don't need the happiness, that's for sure. Basically, all I need to do when I age up is just use a couple of renovation or one-up kits, and that's about it. And now after I've aged up, I get to deal with the St. Patrick's Day event. Luckily for me, I don't really want the Archdruid hut in my tiny town, as it doesn't provide either a supply boost or supplies, which is my main focus, so I'm just sitting this one out. It'll save me the trouble of running through the whole minigame in yet another city. Instead, what I like to do in my tiny town is just push the minigame on one town as far as I can go. And I did, but unfortunately I can't find my screenshot of it. I made it all the way to level 400 on each festival and ship though, so that's cool. And so I think that's where I'm going to have to leave this one for now. My goals for the future are to keep moving up in age, but also experiment a little bit more with great buildings, for example the Himeji Castle, as it provides a ton of supplies. I might even get rid of the lighthouse in that case. However, before I go, I did want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been inspired by this adventure and built a tiny town of their own. It's been really fun reading all of your messages and seeing how you've put personal twists on the idea. Keep them coming. Anyways, please let me know what you thought. If you like this, you might want to check out my first Tiny Town video so you can see exactly how I got to this point today, linked on screen now. As always, I'll see you next time.